You're awake again, not fully awake, but not asleep either. Your body is tired, your eyes are closed, but your mind is loud. It's replaying something small, something that shouldn't matter this much, something you already thought about earlier. And now it's back. You tell yourself you'll stop thinking about it, just for tonight, just to get some rest. But the moment you try to let go, your mind tightens its grip. You start asking quiet questions. What if I said the wrong thing? What if I missed something obvious? What if this means more than I think it does? You don't even notice when your breathing changes. Shallower. Careful, it feels like your mind is pacing, back and forth, looking for something it can't quite find. And there's this strange pressure. Not panic, just a constant hum of unease. Like you're supposed to solve something before you're allowed to rest. You've had this moment before, so many times, different nights, different thoughts, same feeling. And part of you wonders, why can't I just stop? Why does my mind do this when everything is quiet? But here's something you don't say out loud. Thinking feels safer than not thinking, because if you stop, there's a split second of silence. And in that silence, you don't know what might show up. So your mind keeps talking, filling the space, protecting you in its own exhausting way. It brings up old conversations, imaginary ones, things you might say, things they might say back. You rehearse answers you may never need. You correct yourself. You rewind. You say it again, better this time. And for a moment, you feel in control, but then the loop tightens. Because now you're not just thinking, you're watching yourself think, judging it, questioning it. Why am I like this? Why can't I be normal about things? You notice the clock without wanting to. The numbers feel heavier at night. Each minute passing feels like proof that you should be asleep by now. That pressure adds another layer. Now you're thinking about thinking too much. Your mind jumps to the future. It shows you scenes that haven't happened, moments that might never happen. What if tomorrow goes wrong? What if this decision ruins everything? What if I look stupid? What if I disappoint someone? You try to prepare for every possible outcome, as if thinking through all of them will somehow protect you. But instead, you feel drained, emotionally tired, not from doing too much, but from carrying too much inside your head. There's a quiet sadness in that, not dramatic, just heavy. Because you don't even know what you need right now. Rest feels far away. Peace feels like something other people get. You might tell yourself that you overthink because you care, because you're aware, because you don't want to mess things up. And that's true, but it's not the whole truth. There's also fear in it. A gentle fear, a cautious fear, the kind that whispers instead of shouting. Fear of being misunderstood. Fear of making the wrong move. Fear of realizing too late that something mattered more than you thought. Your mind learned somewhere along the way that staying alert equals staying safe. It stays on, even when you beg it not to, even when your body is begging for rest. And the hardest part is this. You don't feel like you're choosing these thoughts. They feel like they're choosing you. They arrive fully formed, demanding attention. You might even feel a strange guilt about wanting them to stop, as if letting go means you don't care enough, as if silence equals irresponsibility, so you stay with them. You analyze, you dissect, you chase clarity, but clarity keeps moving, always just out of reach, and night stretches on. There's a moment, though, a very small one, where you notice how tired you are of your own thoughts. Not angry, just weary. You don't want answers anymore. You just want quiet. And maybe that's the first honest feeling you've had all night. You're not broken for thinking this way. And you're not weak for it. Wanting it to stop, your mind has been working overtime for a long time. It learned to protect you by anticipating pain, by replaying moments, by scanning for danger in the smallest details. But tonight, it doesn't realize that you're safe, so it keeps going. You lie there, listening to your own thoughts like background noise you can't turn off. And something inside you softens, just a little. You realize you don't actually need to solve everything right now. Not because someone told you that, but because you physically can't anymore. Your mind is tired, your heart is tired, and that realization doesn't fix anything. It just sits there with you, quiet, honest. Let's keep going. There's something strange about how your thoughts change at night. During the day, you can distract yourself. Tasks, people, noise. But at night, there's nothing to hide behind. So your mind brings out the unfinished things, the unsaid words, the choices you're still unsure about. It's like your brain finally has time to open all the tabs it kept hidden. You scroll through memories you didn't ask for, that awkward moment, that look someone gave you, that silence after you said something important. You wonder what it meant. You wonder what you should have done differently. And somehow, your mind convinces you that understanding it perfectly will bring peace. But understanding turns into rumination. And rumination turns into exhaustion. You notice how your body reacts, the tight chest, the clenched jaw, the heaviness behind your eyes. You're carrying thoughts as if they're physical weight, and you don't talk about this part much, the loneliness of it. Because even when you're around people, this happens alone, inside you. No one sees the hours you spend thinking through scenarios that may never happen. No one sees how much effort it takes to appear calm when your mind never stops moving. Sometimes you imagine what it would be like to just exist. No commentary, no analysis, no second guessing, just being. That idea feels distant, almost unrealistic, because thinking has become your default, your companion, your shield. Even when it hurts you, you might notice how your thoughts often revolve around control. Controlling outcomes, controlling impressions, controlling mistakes before they happen. But control is slippery. The more you chase it, the more anxious you feel. And there's a quiet grief in realizing that no amount of thinking can guarantee safety. You've already tried, over and over again. If thinking could fix everything, it would have by now. That thought lands gently, not as a solution. Just as truth, you're not failing at thinking. Thinking is failing you tonight. Your mind keeps asking for certainty in a world that doesn't offer much of it. And that mismatch is exhausting. You start to feel emotionally raw, like everything is closer to the surface at night. Small worries feel huge. Old pain feels fresh. You might even feel embarrassed by what you're thinking about, like you should be past this by now, like other people wouldn't get it. But here you are, still human, still sensitive, still trying to make sense of things that don't come with clear answers. There's a softness in admitting that, even if you don't say it out loud. You don't need to fight your thoughts right now. Not because fighting is bad, but because you're tired. And tired minds don't need discipline. They need rest. Not sleep yet, just rest from effort. You notice the space between thoughts for a second, a tiny pause. It doesn't last long, but it's there. And in that pause, nothing terrible happens. Your body doesn't collapse. All doesn't end. The next thought comes, but now you've felt the pause. And something shifts, barely noticeable, but real. You realize that thoughts rise and fall on their own. You didn't invite the last one, and you won't need to escort the next one out. They pass whether you wrestle with them or not. That's not advice, just an observation. Your mind doesn't need you to manage every thought. It's already doing enough on its own. You feel a small release, not relief. Release, like loosening a grip you didn't realize you were holding. Your breathing deepens without effort, just a little. And you don't force anything. You let the night be what it is, quiet, unfinished. You don't need to arrive anywhere tonight. You don't need answers before morning. It's okay if your mind wanders. It always does. But maybe you don't have to follow every thought to the end. Maybe you can let some of them fade mid-sentence, not because they don't matter, but because you matter too. You deserve rest, even when life feels unresolved. That realization doesn't shout. It whispers. And as you lie there, listening to the soft echo of your own thoughts, you feel something unfamiliar. Permission. Permission to stop trying so hard for a few minutes. The night doesn't need anything from you. Not solutions, not explanations, just your presence. And for the first time in a while, that feels enough.